All right, we're going to be doing Burns Canyon Road today. Right now we're airing down, as you can see, and we're going to be headed that way. We're going to be going from the desert here, Joshua Trees, and end up in the pine trees of Big Bear, or at least by Baldwin Lake. We got a late start today. We had a few events take place, and shout out to Anthony and Paige. But we're moving on. I've been wanting to drive this trail for a while, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, we're off. So the first part of this road is washboard rough, but if you air down, disconnect your sway bar. In some vehicles like mine, it has to be in four-wheel drive high to do that. Then the road is actually pretty smooth. We're going to be going, as I said earlier, from the Joshua trees to the pine trees. Right now we're still driving through what looks like some residences, rural environment here, and that's cool, and it really is kind of nice in here. Actually, let me give you a look. Many start this trail, Burns Canyon, from Pioneer Town, which is really a movie set that was created by Roy Rogers and other movie stars and actors as a place to film Western movies. Now, as we go up this road, we don't really know what to expect because it is springtime. And the wintertime snow and the snow melt can change the condition of the road. But we've got a few things we're testing out here. Number one, I'm testing out how my high lift jack mount, which I'll put a picture in, is going to work. Janet is checking out how her brand new 2.5-inch Quadratrac lift, suspension lift with Bilstein shocks is going to work. Shout out to 4 West Motorsports in Colton for doing that work for us yesterday. It was affordable. This is not an advertisement. It's just an acknowledgement that these guys did the work. Test that out. Alex is testing out how his power bank system is going to hold up on rough roads. This area is first occupied by Serrano Indians, and then miners, and then ranchers, along with some settlers. Now, this place was sacred to the Serrano Indians because there was this huge, gigantic rock made of quartz that they worshipped as the eye of God. However, the miners looking for gold destroyed it because of the quartz, and then eventually, because of the countless attacks on the ranchers eventually drove the Serrano Indians away from this area. You can see we're driving through a series of foothills. Now, in some places we'll call it mountains, but in Southern California, where we've got Mount Whitney at 14,000 feet, and some of our trailheads start at 10,000 feet in the Sierras. These are foothills. And it is kind of cool because it's got a lot of boulders. Now, if you look, you can see boulders strewn all over the place. And that is cool. So, I like the terrain. I want to remind some of you guys to turn off your traction control. When you get in sand, it can be an issue. As you can see, we are now going and seeing more pinyon pines. These things can take 30 years to grow to maturity. What makes this trail so unique is that you're going from the desert with its Joshua trees and cacti into the mountain region of Big Bear with its pinyon pines and Douglas firs. Joshua trees were named by Brigham Young, as the story goes, because he felt that the arms were reaching up to heaven. But you can see how they are, some just maize, and some look like ghostly appearances, and others look very similar to trees. These are very hardy trees, plants, and they cannot take too much water, because if you give them too much water, well, it'll kill them. Now leaving a Joshua tree forest and entering into a pinyon pine forest. These pinyon nuts that these trees grow were a favorite food of the Native American Indians who lived here. They used to harvest them and eat them and make meals out of them. This pinyon pine tree right there looks mature. There's a mature Joshua tree. What a beautiful example of a Joshua tree. Nice and healthy. We're now going on 2N02, which is still the Burns Canyon Road. And as the Joshua trees get less and less, we see more and more pinyon pines, which can take, that tree probably took 30 years to grow that height. They don't grow as tall as the sequoias or Douglas fir, but they are a very hardy tree. I love the granite. Look at that. How beautiful is that? Much more exciting to be out here. So after this video, after you hit the like button and the subscribe button and share it, get in your hot rod and come on out and check this out for yourself. Got us a nice lunch spot here. Let's go check out this view. Another great thing about Burns Canyon is there are so many great places to camp. Overnight and multi-days, this is one of the most popular places for people to have lunch, and it would make a great campsite. As you can see up there, I see tailings, so there's obviously a mine up there. How cool is that? Packing up, getting ready to go. Well, lunch is over. Time to move on down the road towards Baldwin. First thing is a hill. At this point, the road turns a little rocky, but nothing like challenging rocks, just like rocks. And it's part of a shelf road, but not a scary shelf road like some are. Now at this point it turns into a shelf road, and it's not too bad, nor is it too long of a distance. Now, although there are a lot of mines up here, including the Rose Mine, no one really hit it big until Billy Holcomb in Holcomb Valley. we got a few of those ruts, moguls, whatever you want to call them, going up this hill. A few little rutty places there. How cool is that? These are probably the tailings of Burns Mine, or Rose Mine, excuse me. Somebody's getting a little bit of up. Doing a little flexing. I think this is the Rose Mine. Let's take a quick walk up here and see if that's the case. I see some pieces of old metal. This definitely looks like a mine shaft. Well, not a mine shaft, but maybe a mine shaft. And I think tailings farther up there. So this road goes around. Some timber here. See what we can see. Looks like cattle graze here too. And this might have been it. The Rose Mine. Sides of them bolts. This looks like it possibly could have been a small stamp mill or some sort to pulverize or break up the rock. Yeah. The Rose Mine in Burns Canyon here was started as Homestake Mine in 1887 by a James Smart. Smart also ran a cattle ranch in the area, Lone Valley. In 1889, Smart and partners restaked the claim and renamed it the Rose Mine, likely due to the pinkish iron-rich ore. A small community grew around the mine, even having enough children to warrant a local school by 1900s. The mine developed a mine shaft reaching a depth of 400 feet, with tunnels extending up to 2,000 feet long. While the mine was rich in ore, particularly at the 300-foot level, a miner unfortunately lost his life in a 1900 accident. Today, only remnants like abandoned mine openings, mill foundations, and old cans remain. Lefts up. See what happens. Go slow. Oh, your tow hitch didn't even hit. This one's a lot easier, so you're going to go straight. And then you're going to turn. It's a little farther. Now start your turn, driver. Passenger front's coming up. And it's going to go back down. Turn more, driver. Okay, you got it. As many people know who record these videos, the video camera never does justice to the steepness of the hill, the depths of the ruts, and the size of the rocks. They're usually significantly larger than the video makes them appear. This little obstacle made by the tailings of the Rose Mine is a little tippy in places, and I thought I might try it and see how the high lift jack support held up. We're opening to a large meadow, which is really cool. This large meadow is called Hickok Meadow. This would be a beautiful place to live if you had water. Looks like there was a mine over there. You can see that mine over in that area, but look over here. Look at that nice, cool metal. What a great place to camp too, if you can find a spot here to camp. There's a mine over there, you see that? Yeah. Really cool. This land has been used for Native Americans, miners, settlers, pioneers, ranchers, lumbermen. It has just been a land of many uses over the years, and now it's a forest that we get to enjoy. A lot of the signs, the people that used to live in this area are gone. There's just remnants left. And sometimes it was probably a very, very rough life. But as we pass through this place of many ages, we get to enjoy the splendor of it and not the harshness. A beautiful place. We're continuing our climb up on this shelf road, which you can see. And so far it hasn't been too bad. I mean, a few little rocks, but nothing that's too challenging. It's always nice to have four-wheel drive just because, and clearance is always nice. But look at that view. Wow. How cool is that? I can smell the pinyon pines and the junipers in the grass as the sun heats them up. The creosote bushes. Just the smells of the forest. And soon, as I see Douglas firs beginning to pop up, we're going to be getting into larger pine trees. There's still snow on the upper slopes. I don't know if we'll come across any, but we'll find out. Looks like we are entering a burn area. Oops, sorry about that. Just trying to recover. This is a beautiful forest to drive through. As we descend the mountain here, you can see in the distance Baldwin Lake. Our journey today in Burns Canyon is almost at an end. What you're seeing here is the end of the trail for today. the end of Burns Canyon, which is emptying out or completing here at Baldwin Lake. We're driving through a road that has some residential on both sides, and you can see the trees are changing, and we're getting a different type of tree, which is really cool. And these are all young new growth, which is even cooler. Someone's probably planted them and they look healthy. And that is important for our forests. So, yeah. How cool is that? Well, that completes Burns Canyon Road. Very easy road. So it's time for us to air up. So if you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to, you can share it. And if you like this sort of thing, hit that subscribe button and the bell, and it'll let you know when the next video is coming out. We go to a lot of interesting places. We drive roads that we haven't driven before, just because we want to go exploring. So thank you again for coming along. If you've made it this far, you've made it to the end. That's going to be more than 80, maybe even 90% of the people do. But that's okay. I don't always make it to the end of these YouTube videos either. So, yeah. See you on the next one.